evening, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of Songwriting Simplified with me, Jonny Lipsham, and that's your cue. Except we can't hear you. Or at least I can't hear you. Okay, we've temporarily lost Rich's audio, but yes, we got Rich Cresswell here with us.
We muted it, didn't we?
That's right. He muted Skype. There we go. So yes, we got Rich Cresswell with us tonight because tonight we are celebrating our very good friend Lucas Rzyska's awesome release of the Harmony Wizard. So that's what we're going to take a wee look at tonight. And it's not going to necessarily be the deepest of deep dives because Harmony Wizard just has way too many features. But we are going to give it a good overview and give it a good check out. And hopefully you will like it because we love it. Me and Rich, we love it. And we're thrilled to have been able to give Lucas a little bit of help here and there when he has required it for producing this awesome product. But it's fantastic, and I could talk all day about how great it is, to be honest. Because it contains a lot of very, very useful features, especially for people who, you may not necessarily have a completely thorough grasp of music or music theory and chords and how to make chords and how to voice chords and how to orchestrate chords for a horn section or an orchestra or something like that. Although, that said, those of you that are regular viewers to this show should have a little bit of a heads up because I cover that stuff every week. So you guys should have some idea, and Harmony Wizard is going to help you apply what you have learned, hopefully what you have learned from watching this show and being able to have guests like Rich on as well. Just really, really helps bring another composer's perspective on Harmony Wizard. So I've invited Rich onto the show tonight with the intention of taking a deep dive into Harmony Wizard because Rich has been very, very involved in helping Lucas develop this thing. So he probably knows it better than anybody else other than Lucas. And Lucas is here this evening in the chat. And we are going to give away something very, very cool. In fact, we're going to give away a copy of Harmony Wizard to one lucky person here who is in chat. So if you are watching and you're not subscribed, it's going to be difficult for you to get involved. So what you'll need to do to get involved is you will need to subscribe if you're not already. And then once you've subscribed, give it 2 minutes and the chat will be unlocked for you. And then all you need to do is say hello, introduce yourself, and your name will then appear in the chat, and then we can add you to the draw for this copy of Harmony Wizard. Over to you, Rich, my friend.
Yeah, so what I'm doing at the moment is I'm actually just kind of grabbing all of your names from the chat there because I can see that we've got a number of people that have come and joined us. So Christopher Maracna, for example, we've got W5 family. I'm just popping these in as I come across them.
And we've got Jonny Gibe as well.
We do. We have Mr. Oh, in fact, actually, I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to put Gibe for short.
Yep.
Trying to think. So we've got Christina, we've got Jay, we've got Don, we've got Gardner, Kyle, Bobby, Tony, Chris, W5, The Gibe.
The Gibe.
I'm seeing, is it Sabis? Is that the correct way of saying that? Sabis Huss? Not Stephen?
Sebis. Yeah, maybe Sebis. Yeah.
Oh, Billy. Billy was he first in the door again?
He was first in the door, yeah. And we've got Brett Marla here as well.
Sean A. Aaron.
Sean You've been watching that show as well.
And well, Lucas, unfortunately, you can't win it. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, he's Skyping me on the other Skype channel.
We got Kevin from Kevin's Guitar Stories there. We've got Don, of course, and we've got Keith as well.
Yeah, we don't have anybody called D Nice though, do we? We've got AA Ron, but no D Nice.
Yeah. So I'm just telling you that. I think we've got pretty much everybody there for the moment. So it's a good selection of people. If anybody else comes in, I will kind of pick up on those and we'll add those as we go. So I'm celebrating with a nice German Weiss beer tonight.
Weiss beer, yep. I did have I was at another release party this evening. So I have already had like my quota of Brewdog's Punk IPA. So
I can see we've got John Hawk.
John Hawk. Yep.
Yeah. Hail to the John.
Hail to the John. Good to see you, buddy.
Excellent. So I'm guessing who's heard of Harmony Wizard so far? I'm guessing everybody in the chat has heard about it.
Yeah, who has heard of the Harmony Wizard? If you've heard of the Harmony Wizard, say yes, I have heard of Harmony Wizard.
Or participation.
Yes, because it takes about 30 seconds for chat to
populate. Exactly. And I think it's a phenomenal tool to use with Studio One.
Yep.
It sort of slips in there seamlessly into probably a lot of people's workflows, but it might actually kind of raise your eyebrow into some of the other things that it can do. I think most of you are probably familiar now with sort of the concept of it, but the additional features now, like being able to strum and transform, chords that you might have written or made use of with Harmony Wizard and transform those into something that's usable for a guitarist. And you might actually just be using a guitar VST because you don't know a guitarist. So at least you can have the right kind of chord voicings for the instruments. And I think that's kind of important because we tend to do a lot of writing things, if you're a non-guitar player, in keyboard, and it doesn't quite sound right. And you can kind of achieve something that sounds right with Harmony Wizard for this. There's a number of different ways that you can look at this. You can use it as a way to create chords to give you a little bit of a push in the right direction. But you might already have some existing chords that you want to kind of flesh out and maybe have them sound a little bit better. You can also take a bass line that you might have written. You've got an idea in your head, and maybe the only thing in your head is the melody. Maybe you can take from that and start harmonizing with some really, really nice chords. Yep. So me and Jonny were just kind of messing around a little bit before because we was trying to think of ways to best demonstrate using it for most of the audience here and, creating a piece of music just with Harmony Wizard. So we looked at it from the perspective of, maybe having a simple drum beat with a guitar, piano, maybe a bass synth and an organ, something like that. And started off from there and came up with a couple of little ideas. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen with you. And we didn't write this, sort of Harmony Wizard kind of did it for us in a way. And it might give you a little bit of inspiration to kind of try some of these things out. Like Jonny said, there's lots of different functions and features that Harmony Wizard enables you to have, from sort of a very entry level kind of skill set up to more sort of professional skill set. And we're going to go somewhere sort of roughly in the middle, sort of the creation. We use it almost like a creation station. Okay.
That's a great little catch line for it, actually. Creation station.
Yeah. Lucas is popping some links in the chat there. Obviously, just to give you a little bit more information about it, and I'd highly recommend visiting his channel because, or rather his website. He's put it in the harmonywizard.com and obviously S1 Toolbox as well.
And there's a link to it in the description as well. Right,
yeah.
Well, not really a link, but the URL's there, and you can paste that into your browser.
Exactly. I mean, if you're not already familiar with, Lucas and what he does, I mean, he does other scripts as well for Studio One and other tools that you can use to sort of make your life a little bit easier. Scoring tools being, one of those.
Yes, my favorite. Yeah.
I mean, if you are into that kind of stuff, it's like a must-have. It's like illegal not to have it.
Yeah.
The cops are knocking on your door right now.
In fact, I think I just heard.
So yeah, let's get my screen share there and let's see what happens. So let's get this up on. Right, so I am currently sharing now.
There we go.
Fantastic. You can see everyone's very involved in the chat there, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's flying along.
Yeah, so we came up with these kind of like little ideas pretty quickly. So these are just like little sections that we've kind of created, making use of piano, guitar, drums, a bass synth, and organ. So on their own. So we've got those are the sounds that we're working with, and I'll just kind of play through these just so you can see what was created. I'll just play for the first one, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just dump all this stuff so you can hear. Right, so let's have a look in the piano roll and see what's happening there. So we've got these chords that have been created by Harmony Wizard, and we've made use of the strum tool. We've made use of this transform tool, which is to create guitar chords. So I'm going to demonstrate how we do that from scratch. We'll give ourselves the drums, and because we like to live dangerously, we'll get rid of everything. So all we've got now is this little drum loop. I want something for the guitar. So let's jump in here and see how we can go about that. Now, currently at the moment, I think that was in a different key here than F sharp major, but we'll go with F sharp major for the moment. And obviously we can pick here in the wheel of fifths as well. So we could pick a B minor, for example. Let's pick something happy. We don't want to be miserable, right? So we'll just go with let's just go with C for now. Right. So yeah. So what we're going to do is we need to make sure that we know that the scale is detected. This is displayed here to the left-hand side. If you're unfamiliar with this little section here, and I'm assuming many of you would be at this point, but you've got the ability to change the scale that you're in. So we're in C now, but we can change to D. And if we press this here, if I'll just zoom this in a little bit so you can see it maybe. Can you see all the little notes there? They've got these little blue tabs on the end of them. It tells us these are the correct keys for that particular scale. So we'll go with D major as we're in there because we've got a couple of flaps as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert some chords. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go with 4, okay, and we're going to insert. Let's see a four note chord, and let's just play that back and see what it sounds like. So it's inserted a chord for us. That's great. Let's insert another 4-note chord. If we don't like this one, we can undo and we can try a different one if we want to. Remember, this is doing these completely random. Let's do that. I like that. That's cool. I like that one. And then we'll do another one. Now I'm doing these individually at the moment to demonstrate how it will work individually, but there is a way that you can do this a little bit more quickly. And what we can do here, so we've got we can actually go right back to the beginning and we can go insert random chords, and we can do 8 random 4-note chords. Let's do that. Now, I've used this particular sound because when everything's quantized like this, it's a bit jarring. Even though the chords themselves are really beautiful chords, the sound itself doesn't lend itself to the chords being played because it doesn't sound very natural. Okay. And I think this is something that we need to remember when we're working in MIDI, is that, quantizing everything, specifically to the grid doesn't always work. We need to humanize things just a little bit. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make use of the strum tool. When we pull this up, we've got a number of options available to us. We can strum up. This is going from the low note and then going up. We can strum down from the high note down. We can do alternate, which is up then down. And then we can do random, which of course is in any particular order. We can both strum and arpeggiate, and we can adjust the amount of this as well. So if we were to have it all the way up to 100%, it would stagger the notes further apart from each other. I'll use something around about there, and I'll just demonstrate what that looks like. So you can see the notes are going up. We'll go back to the strum. We're going to do this slightly differently now, and we're going to go down. We had trigger ahead turned on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these off, and we're just going to have a look at down. Okay. So can you see that the first note is actually starting from this point here in the bar? I want to just undo that and show you what that looks like when we do the trigger ahead. So can you see here, if I just shorten these notes up a bit, you see where the last note is? It's actually on the beat. So that's the difference between those two methods. If we go to strum and then we click on strum note ends, this is going to tidy up the ends of the notes so that they're not overlapping like they were just a moment ago. So when we do the strum down and we have the now that could be quite nice, but it might not be what we want. We might want something a little tighter than that, and we might want to strum up. And we might want to alternate those as well. So we go to alternate, we'll make it a little bit shorter. So we're able to alternate that strumming sound between each of the chords. So let's assume that we're happy with this, okay, and we want to kind of develop it a little bit further. We can use tools within Studio One in sort of cahoots with Harmony Wizard to generate other things from this. We could in here generate a bass line from these selected notes, but we don't really want the bass note, or the bass line rather, in this track, because it might be better to have that voiced by a bass specific instrument, such as a bass synth or a bass guitar. So what we can do with the chord track opens, we can just pull our chords up into the chord track, and that's all we need to do. We're going to go and create a bass pattern here. So we've got a new event for this bass synth, then we're going to go bass line here, and we're just going to do a create bass line from chord track. So we click on that, and we've now got a bass line. Cool. Okay. And remember, you can develop this as much as you want to. We're doing a short section here, but you could work in little sections, create yourself a chorus, create yourself a verse, bridges and all that kind of stuff, and have a real good time with it. Now, what if we want something to accompany it? Okay, so we've got a guitar, we've got a bass synth, and I'd probably say the guitar could do with being voiced a little bit better, right? Might be nice if we're playing this on piano, perhaps, right? So, but different with the guitar. So let's just try something here. And this is something that you might actually find very useful. We're going to actually create guitar chords for this particular MIDI event. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that so we don't lose it. But we're going to do that here. Transform, create guitar chords. Okay, so what's the difference? So let's do something with the organ to make sure. So let's make use of our chord track again, and let's insert chords from the chord track. We've got those there. Okay. Let's do something different with these. Okay, so we can edit these chord notes. We can invert them. Right, we can actually alternate the chord and keep the lowest note, for example. We can distribute the chords or quantize the chords, destrum them. We can merge them, which is really useful if you're doing string orchestration, where you might be building chords from individual chord voicings, such as a string section, where you have a first, second, section of violins, then some violas, some cello, and some bass. And sometimes you'll be building chords from those, and actually you want those notes to merge. I'll show you how that works, because this sort of chord section here is a really good demonstration of that. So we can transform. One minute. There we go. Chord legato under tools. We're going to remove the overlaps. Okay. We can also chop this up as well. So we've got a fixed grid if we want to, or we can make use of a rhythm preset. So we could make use of Latin 2, for example. Let's see what that result gives us. Okay. Okay. We've got some duplicated notes there. Now that might be entirely my fault, but that's not a big issue. We can insert chords, like a random triad. I'm just interested to know in the comments, is there a particular feature within this at the moment that maybe you've come across and you're just not sure how that thing works and what that thing does, based on the fact that, you know, we're making a piece of music here simply from the Harmony Wizard itself? I'll wait for those comments to come through while I have a Weiss beer.
Weiss beer. Yep, beer is definitely a Weiss, ladies and gentlemen.
I've just noticed our Just Bob has appeared, and as has our Duane as well.
Yep.
So I'm going to add these people to the wheel.
The wheel of delight. This is like the lucky circle of fifths that we'll get. Because, you know, you actually win something. Instead of landing on A flat minor, you actually win something.
Yeah, everyone's a major.
Everyone's a major. Yep, there are no minors.
Exactly. That's just a blooming hope so as well. Not when there's Vice beer around. So, I mean, that's a very simple demonstration of how you can use this to create a piece of music. And if I was to kind of do that quite quickly, because, you know, I'm a sort of count myself as a bit of a fast person when it comes to using Studio One. So let's just jump into here and do much the same as we just did. But what we'll do this time is we'll just pick a different key. In fact, actually, we'll do D sharp, harmonic minor.
Oh, how many sharps in that key?
Right, okay. So let's go and insert 8 random triads. Okay, let's do that. And we'll transform that immediately to our guitar chords. Look at that. We just wrote all that stuff and
just like that. 10 seconds.
It was so hard to do, and then I've got some drums already, so we'll borrow those. That's kind of cheating. And what we'll do is we'll pull this up to there, and then we'll go down here, and then we'll go, oh no, I need a bass line. So we create a bass line from the selected notes. Well, there's nothing selected, so we'll do it from the chord track. Okay, that's cool. So we've got that bit sorted. Oh no, we need something for the piano. Let's just do that here. Let's pull the chords. Shall we do it from... Yeah, let's just do... let's borrow that. Throw that up there. Now it becomes a piano. And then what we're going to do is we're going to transform that to... let's do melody above there. We can get rid of that. And then we can do, I don't know, let's transform them. Oh no, we don't want to do toggle major to minor because that would sound really weird.
Oh yeah. Too many sharp notes.
A major and a minor. But what we could do here is we'll use the harmonize here. So we'll look at the intervals and we'll do let's say a fifth above. Oh, that's quite a lot actually. We'll take that, move it down. Let's intervals. Let's do fifth above, fifth below, and then we'll do a fourth above.
Ooh, nice.
So we have that.
Oh, very Bill Evans.
Okay. And yeah, I have no idea what this is going to sound like, but it should sound good, right? Because we didn't play through this, and I just did it, and that's a thing, right? So.
Woo!
Without even hearing it, you know.
There's some crunch there, but
There's some crunch. It's tasty for sure, but that's because we're using fourths and fifths, so
yeah,
that's kind of to be expected.
yeah.
Let's
Those
pull that.
fourths against the thirds, yeah.
But we don't need that. I mean, we could actually just solve that by just doing that and getting rid of that.
That middle line, yep.
Probably we'll save it a little bit. And the cool thing about this is if you're not sure about something, you can change this, I mean, let's do that. I'm kind of happy getting rid of that. And I think actually that a lot of the crunch is happening.
There you go. That should be a B flat, yeah.
Yeah. It's got that kind of almost like a rumba kind of sound to it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's try and do. So we can do this select voice 1. Okay, so this is the top voice. Remember, you can use select voice 2. It's the next one down. Third one. Go to the bottom. We can select the root note, which here we go. So I'm going to suggest that's probably the naughty note.
Evil. That's not so bad now.
It's the dun 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 dun. Oh wait, that is a naughty note though, isn't it? That's a naughty note there. And again, like a lot of this is not just always the chords themselves, but the way that they're played as well. Do they need to be as pronounced? Now we've got that so this section here. Do we want to maybe insert some extra chords that can play on top of the guitar chords themselves? Do we want to add a second voice, for example, within the scale, and let's say below the melody? Do we need to have that last note? What do we just want to have that trail? And have it just like that. So, Brett Marler, there's a spicy meatball.
It's a spicy bossa, that's for sure. I mean, it's kind of,
Yeah. So I'm just looking for any questions there. So Christian's putting, looking forward to more deep explaining videos in YouTube.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions there. Just Bob says, will this work with MIDI drum notes and create different patterns as well?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah. So I mean, if we've got some drums here, we'll just put this into this mode or whatever. I'm not suggesting that it's there to create drums or anything like that, but you can make use of the chop feature.
Yep.
But it doesn't listen to kind of like how drums work, because obviously you've got to remember that a piano or a guitar, they're based on notes that are numbered.
Yep.
So drums don't work in the same way. Although we can view the MIDI information within the piano roll, a kick drum is not C1. Okay, and like a snare is not D1. It's not like a piano. That's something to bear in mind.
Yep.
But if you're working in, say, for example, EDM and dance stuff like that, You can look at things like the chop function. So like, let's say, for example, you've got just like a kick drum, right? So if we just solo this, and this is where you have to like, when it comes to like making music, sometimes you have to think of like ingenious ways to do things that maybe other people haven't done. So we could just group those. So we've got one long note. Well, that's going to sound just like stupid, right? Because that's just going to be, and that's it for the next couple of bars. I mean, unless you're doing like super minimalist stuff, that's cool. But what we can do is we can use the chop function to maybe give us some interesting things. So we could do like a random pattern, and we could do that on 8th notes or something like that, and then repeat after a half, and then do that on 4 beats. And then, we've got a little pattern there. We don't necessarily need to do it that way either. So, we could do this on one of these rhythm presets. And we could do that. So you can make use of this if you want to. It's not something that you need to make use of, but you can certainly there you go. Jay's putting in their hi-hat. Sounds like a hi-hat rhythm.
Yep.
Just like that. So it gives you a little bit of inspiration. This is a harmony wizard. The kind of the clues in the name, that it's meant for creating harmonies from existing MIDI information, things, bass lines that you might have written, melodies that you just were like, oh, if only I could come up with some good chords for that melody, or maybe it was a bass line that you wrote and you were like, yeah, you may have had this actually happen to you. Somebody's hiring you to do some music, so produce some music, and they've got they hum like a melody. They're like, oh, I really like this melody, but I don't know how to write this. Can you make this music for me? And they send you the melody that they hummed on their phone or something like that. Well, you can pull this into Studio One. You can use the free version of Melodyne to work out what the MIDI notes are. You can then take that MIDI, put it into an event, and then use Harmony Wizard to do the rest of the work for you.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a phenomenal tool, and yes, we could probably dig a lot deeper into it. There are lots of functions in here that you probably will kind of pick up on as you start to use it, but I don't want to blow your minds with every single thing just yet. But I think looking at intervals would be very good for those that, those of you that are already kind of fairly chord minded, where sort of what to expect with things. So you've got things like, you can do intervals with the triads like major, minor, to sus, diminished and augmented chords. And then you've got some really cool 4-note chords here. So major 7th, sort of more common, I guess. As well as the minor 7th, but you've got these like half diminished and these sus4 ambit chords as well. So there's some real fun stuff in there, and not only using it as a tool to make music, but as a way to kind of learn it as well. So when you're thinking about, okay, what key was that song in that I heard? And maybe you Google it and you look at it and it says, oh, it was in B flat, and you're like, okay, that's cool. I like the idea of that. I don't know how to play it though. Well, you can come into here and you can stick Studio One in B flat, and you can start generating some chords to give you ideas. It might be that if you're a singer, you don't know how to play piano too well, or maybe you only play guitar or something like that, and you do want to create like a backing track for yourself, or maybe you do want to get involved in doing things like orchestral type scoring, and you're just not sure how to go about that. This is going to get you pretty much 70% to 100% of the way there, depending on how you use it and how you want to use it. You might find there are going to be things in it that you won't use. So like we've just used the chop function there to chop up a single note. Okay. You might not want to be chopping chords. You might want to just be creating the chords. Okay, giving you a bit of inspiration and maybe even give you the basis for a piece of your, new music. And you might not necessarily need to be looking at, inverting chords. Inverting chords is a very useful tool for giving you different ways to approach the way that you interpret the music. So if we've got this guitar here, for example, if we want to invert this up, remember we're in D sharp harmonic minor. So it's as Brett said, a spicy meatball. We can invert this up like so, and it's going to stay within the scale. We're just changing the position of the notes. If you have a look there, we're just changing the position of the notes. If you look at the root note there, and can you see just visually? Okay, if we look at the first voice of the chord, and we look at the sort of the deviation that note is taking versus when we invert it. It might potentially be more an interesting chord there for the type of music that you're doing. Let's invert it up. And I want you to just pay attention to this section at the top here. When we invert it up, what happens? So just pay attention to those notes, or even that pattern if you're more of a pattern sort of oriented person. We've got this going up and down. Okay, just focus on that. Make it bigger. Focus on that. Okay, we're going to press up once. You see that it's still there? So inversions can be very, very useful to use, and you can have a piece of existing music that you've already got, and you can make use of inversions to give you a different way, as I say, of approaching the music. Tony's put in the chat there. I think he's trying to say there. Does it create beer? Unfortunately, not. It does. Unfortunately, not. But it's a great great way to give yourself the opportunity to open a beer up, because you've got more time on your hands, because you didn't spend too long thinking about, how do I harmonize this chord, or how do I do this with this lead? No, you can just have an extra 5 minutes and you can have a nice beer.
Exactly. Harmony Wizard is that. It's a time-saving device that gets you being creative very quickly. You threw together not one bossa nova, but 2 bossa novas and a bossa nova with some extra spice. You're not going to find that in any Mexican bar anywhere else, I don't think. W5 say, can you write a melody and show us how to use detect?
That's a good question. Let's do that.
Yep, let's.
Okay. So I'll go in a key that I love, and I'll even do we'll go in the minor, harmonic minor. So give myself a drum beat just to be fair.
A dark bossa nova.
Yeah. I don't want that one. A little bit higher up. What a poor excuse for a man I am there. There we go. So this is, yeah, it's G harmonic minor.
Yep.
Oh, look what happened. It's picked G harmonic minor.
That's
There
pretty
we
smart.
go. So we picked G harmonic minor. So let's put something in
Let's
our
get
guitar.
some G harmonic minor modal chords happening.
Let's just we'll start off with triad, because triads are nice and easy to understand.
Nice voicing.
I like. I'm not sure about the end one personally, and this is the cool thing about it. You can make decisions. You don't have to go like, oh man, I've got to start the whole thing again. No, you can just be like, okay, I'll go to the end here because I know I want to change this one. Let's just insert a random triad. Okay, that seems like more sensible.
Yep.
There we go.
That's smooth.
So we've got that. And now what we want to do is just make sure that is in our chord track, because it's always useful for reference later on or whatever, like when we had a bass line. So let's add the bass line from our chord track again. Okay, so Brett's saying, suppose you want the bass line to start on a note that isn't the root of the chord.
Yeah, like the third of a chord, like in a first inversion kind of.
Yeah. I mean, we're on C there, in G harmonic minor, but we could
Like have D over F sharp, for example.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you totally. I mean, all of these things you can change. I mean, we could do. Let's say. Let's just say
10 minutes left, so we'll have to get to competition time shortly.
we do. Yeah, so Lucas is putting there for the melody. Try using the harmonized melody menu and as a second melody to stack the chords with the scale. That's a
Suggestion, that one.
point. Yeah. So yeah, we could do. Stack the chords with the scale. Let's just go just for now. We are basically listening to the equivalent of like an old beat machine that you'd get on an old org.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of interested. I mean, I want to hear what people in the chat have got to say about it. In terms of how they feel. They would use it, like just from a perspective of like maybe rate it. Okay, let's just go like a out of 10. Do you think that you would use it?
Yeah, put in a number in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of 10. 10 being highest, 1 being, or 0 being lowest, obviously.
Yeah, but be honest, because I mean, I'm trying to do this really from the perspective of how I might think you would use it. It might not necessarily be the way that I use it, and it might not be the way that Jonny uses it, or say, for example, Lucas or anybody else, but I think it's a pretty phenomenal thing. Okay, so we got some pretty high numbers there, and I think I can probably guess the low numbers there, being just from the perspective of somebody that mixes rather than music creates, like in a DAW. That's totally expected, and to be honest with you, very honest as well, which is appreciated. Of John's there as well, John Haythwaite. I just spotted that name, and this is cool because this helps me catch up with all the blooming names on the wheel.
The wheel. Are we going to get sued for copyright from that TV
this is
show?
that TV show, isn't it? Yeah, the British show, The Wheel. The wheel. The wheel. That's literally the lyrics, isn't it? The wheel just goes on. The wheel forever. They need to make use of Harmony Wizard.
It's yes, they do. It's Dante's Circle of Hell, that show. But
yes, very much so.
other circles of hell are available.
Okay, a few people basically saying they're planning on
planning to purchase.
Yeah. John Haythwaite there. I find that the chord voicings jump around a lot. They give you as much variation as possible. Yeah, so they're not there to write the music for you.
Yeah.
They're there to essentially give you the chords that you need within that scale. It's up to you whether you use them or not. I mean, essentially, if you were to click on, let's just say randomly, right? You would just click on apply 8 4-note chords within the scale. You've got 8 opportunities to pick a chord. You didn't write a single one of them.
Yeah.
If you're the type of person that actually just finds it easier to write the music as is, that's fine too, because Harmony Wizard there is then to basically take the music that you've written and change it, maybe give it a different texture, a different way of maybe approaching the way that you wrote it. Kind of like having a second person, like, hey, those chords there, what if you do it this way? That's kind of what Harmony Wizard is.
Yeah. And there's the auto function, which will help with, some smoothing out some of the voicing, so you have a little bit less, what I call hedge hopping.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, obviously, when we do this, the wheel, which is going to be in the next 30 seconds. So if you're not in the chat and you're not subscribed,
do it now.
It might be a good opportunity to do that now, because you've got a chance to win like Harmony Wizard now.
Yep, do it now.
So those people that are watching that aren't subscribed can't comment in the chat, so we don't know that you exist and we don't know that you're here.
Yep, exactly.
So it'd be nice if you could join. Lucas, the wheel.
I'm sorry, Lucas. That's gonna stick now as the tagline for the product.
So yeah, I'm not quite halfway on my beer right now, but we're gonna. he's found the
he's found the wheel emoji.
He's found the wheel emoji. Everybody spam the wheel emoji if you can find it.
Ron Figueroa's here.
Oh, better late than never.
Yeah, he's literally like at the death.
There we go. Hang on, I'm making sure I haven't put his name in twice, because that'd be kind of cheating. No.
Yes, John, it isn't a circle of fifths.
That works too. Fair play. Right.
The wheel, or it's the circle of life.
He was. Ron's saying, isn't he? Like he's doing it 2:45. Yeah, he was. He was
just in time. Yep.
Right. So we do the wheel. By the way, I'm going to put this on screen just for a second. I'm assuming you can all see it, right?
Yep, it's there. Yep.
Obviously, I've shortened all your names. I know who this, obviously relates to, but please tell me if you do not think your name is on here.
Yeah, do that now if you don't see your
and
name there.
I will confirm that with you, because I may have shorthanded your name. I've got to make that A a capital. Sean Aaron.
Aaron. And Kevin. And Keith. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Too much fun watching that comedy show. It's so funny.
Yeah. Keith.
And B-Ret.
Oh, hang on. Thomas Hood.
Garner 99. Oh, he is on there. Yeah, I see him on there. Yep.
Yeah, Gardner's in there. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool.
Kyle says, please remove me. Kyle the assassin is at your door already.
Yep, yeah, because Kyle is a mixing guy.
Yep.
As such, so that's fair enough, and that's a very gracious thing to.
Yes, thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, so I've removed Billy because Billy's got it already.
If you already have it, then please say so, and then we can remove you.
Yeah, so I'll do this in order.
Yeah, John H has it, so he can.
Christina
does not have it, but John has it.
Bobby, Tony, Chris, that's obviously Maracana, of course. The W5 family, Mr. Gibe, Savis, Stephen, Sean Aaron, Brett, Kevin, Keith.
Oh, John H is on there twice, I believe.
Is he? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
How dare you, John? There we go. Just Bob, D. Wayne, Darrell, John H, Ron, and Thomas H.
Jay has it.
Yeah, Jay's on that. Yeah.
Oh, Christina, you sneaky person.
Oh, thank you for your honesty. I'm going to do it now. Okay. So this is our last chance to show up in the chat.
Yep.
10, 9. What's next? 8.
Yep.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Spin the wheel. The wheel.
The wheel. It's Gardner.
Gardner.
Your boy.
Gardner is the winner. Congratulations. Awesome. So there we go.
There we go.
Yep.
We're done with that.
Yep. Yeah. Congratulations.
But you're not done yourself, because you've got the opportunity to go and check it out. And I actually think that if you gave it like a high score in the chat, like say 8 or above, I think you'll love it. I think you'll find it indispensable, and I think you'll be making more music than you made before. Maybe even making better music potentially.
All right, should we go back to camera view?
Yeah, let's get back.
I have to do that and that. There we go. So, Gardner, I guess you need to contact the creator who will supply you with the product key.
Yeah, I think it's really kind of a case of how would you like to obviously communicate on this? Do you want to do it, sort of on Facebook Messenger? Do you want to, an email or something like that? If you want, if you're not sure, you can jump on a Zoom with myself if you like, or I can furnish you with the bits that you need. Installing it, although that was something we intended on covering on this video, is pretty easy. You will need a license key for it, and that's what you're going to get here for sort of like the full unlocked version. So everything that is available that I've just been using, you're going to be able to make use of yourself.
Yep.
Brett's asking a question there about, have we more info on the Halloween challenge? It will come.
Yes, it will.
There is going to be a video for that specifically. But today was unashamedly a Harmony Wizard kind of focused video.
Yeah, Harmony Wizard Party.
Yeah.
Which by the way is Lucas is very, very deserving of this Harmony Wizard Party. To celebrate its launch and its addition to Studio One. It makes a very, very fine addition to Studio One, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how this grows and develops. As I'm sure people will have ideas and will have feature requests for it to help kind of move it forward.
Yeah,
I've got some ideas which I will be talking to Lucas about.
Yeah, if you think you've got a piece of music that you thought it's good, but it's not quite full enough. It's not quite there. It's not popping. And sometimes you get on that sort of rabbit hole where you're kind of like searching for different sounds and you're trying to kind of like make it sound bigger than maybe what it is. Sometimes you just need a good harmony.
Yep. Sometimes that's all it takes. Yeah, and or some horn section or some strings or something to fill out the sound, provide some ear candy for your arrangement. Yeah, Harmony Wizard will help you kind of provide those kind of things to your music pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So,
and there's a lot more to discover with it as well. So we covered some very basic kind of things that it can do. You can take it a lot further than that. And it's definitely a lot quicker than sometimes having to think of things yourself. It'll give you a leg up.
And I think that's the thing, that's the thing with it, is that it's designed to give you a head start. And not just if you're not particularly familiar with how, harmony works and music theory and chord changes and voicings and voice leading and all of that kind of stuff. If all of that stuff that I do teach here on this particular show, this will help you kind of get to where you want to get to that little bit quicker. It's a tool for kind of applying what I've been teaching here for ages, which is why I'm so excited about it. But if you are somebody that is very familiar with how all of those kind of things work, it's still going to help you, because there's some more advanced stuff that we've not covered that it certainly can do. There's advanced harmony that you can, and some modal harmony that you can get it to do, if you want to make some some quite advanced kind of sounding chord changes and stuff. So pretty powerful. But that is the end of the show. We're 7 minutes over, but I really don't mind running a little bit over because of what we've been talking about tonight. So on the subject of the Halloween challenge, yes, it is coming. There will be a special show that me and Rich will do to launch it, and we will give you we will arm you, in fact. We will arm you with a whole slew of tools to be able to complete the challenge. The challenge is actually really, really good. It's differentiated, which means there's kind of different levels. So it's going to be really, really good this time round. Very excited, and we're taking the Halloween challenge thing to a whole new level this year. So
Yeah, I know it's a common thing at this time of the year where, obviously people are like, oh, the Halloween challenge is coming. What's next? What's happening with it? It's all going to be revealed. It's going to be awesome.
it really is.
There's going to be some extra prizes this year.
Yep.
We've got some contribution from other people as well this time. So myself and other people as well. You're going to have the ability to mix, to write, to take existing things and kind of do like a editing kind of thing or whatever. Some interesting stuff, and there'll be a workspace for it. And each element, if you choose to partake in just the mixing side of it or just the writing side of it, there'll all be the notes and everything will be there. And it's super easy. It's going to be the best, easiest, with the most prizes Halloween contest in the world.
Really? Yes. So we're gonna launch that next week, I think. Is that right? Is that what we?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it
I'm
was.
happy with that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
good
think it
with
was next Wednesday. We decided. I think.
to be honest with you, I think people have got ants in the pants and they want to get started now. So we
All right.
better.
So yeah. So announcement coming next week's show. Okay. So next week's show will be the launch of Halloween challenge, and it's giving you plenty of time because it's only like the first week of September. So next week. So it's giving you plenty of time to craft your masterwork or your
Yeah.
master mix.
Gives us an opportunity as well early on to get like the niggly questions out of the way, because there's always niggly questions.
Yes.
You shouldn't have any because it's that easy, but I know you will probably have some, so we can get them out of the way so that you can crack on with it, and that'll give you plenty of time.
Yeah. So looking forward to that next week. Unless I'm much mistaken, I may have missed it in chat, but I think Billy is hosting an after show celebration of all things Harmony Wizard over on his Zoom. So if you want to go and hang out over there and crack open a beer or a bottle of wine or a Coke Zero or whatever your beverage is, then please come join us over there. The link is in the chat if you want to go grab that on Zoom. But otherwise, we're going to end it here. Thank you very much for joining me and Rich. We appreciate it a lot. Rich, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to
all thanks, as I'm sure you're about to announce, but all thanks to Lucas really for providing us such an amazing tool and giving it away today so that somebody can make use of it and hopefully better their musical education.
Yes, yeah. A big thank you to Lucas for providing such an excellent tool and also being generous about providing a product key to give away. That's very kind of you, Lucas. We appreciate it a lot. And that's all that's left to say is we will see you next time, folks. Good night, everybody.